Hello everyone, it is Wednesday, March 9th.
Good morning everyone. It's 5 in the morning. I'm going for a run now. Why? Because I'm a fat kid, and I'm going to stop being a fat kid. But it's very early, and I can't believe I'm doing this. This is Japan at 5 in the morning. Here we go. I need to start running now, so I can't hold this camera. Bye. It's pretty, isn't it? Sun coming up. I can't see Hino Mountain behind the building, so my apartment's back there. Alright, I just got back from my run. It's getting lighter out. I need to go shower, get ready for work.
Yeah, so that's what I've started doing.
I'm still in pain.
So you wanted to know why it is hard to remember my students. It's not so hard to remember them, it's more hard to memorize them. There are several reasons as to why this is. Number one is because they all wear uniforms. One of the ways we identify people in America is by their style. And as a teacher, it is really easy to identify your students by the type of clothes they wear. Like there's Saggy Pants Steve right there, and Low Cut Laura. Very easy to remember your students in America. But here they all have uniforms, and they have to look uniform because in Japan, it's not that they don't want to be different and stand out, they are forced into this, but it also establishes a form of order. So when the girls are hiking up their skirts too high, they get in trouble for it. When the guys let their shirts hang out, they get in trouble for it. Now granted, it is easier in high schools because the uniforms are different, where junior high schools are pretty much standard, aside from the little differences we talked about before. High schools actually use their uniforms to kind of draw in students to choose their school. Remember, high school's optional, so the students choose which school they go to. And actually I found out that some of my students really want to go to Higashi because they have this cute little orange bow and they love the little orange bow. And also they wanted to go for the international program, but the uniforms were a perk. The other thing that they do is they have very standard hairstyles. There's not a lot of variation I'm finding in the junior high schools I'm at. There's about 3 different types of girl hairstyles and 3 different types of boy hairstyles. The girls especially have to be in fashion. It's a big thing. They want to be as trendy as possible. So right now there's a trend so that your bangs are the straight bangs that are like this, you know, you used to have when you were a kid. All of my students have these bangs, and those that don't get ridiculed. In fact, the newer teacher who sits next to me and is kind of my buddy in the staff room, she used to not have this hairstyle, and the students told her she needed to have that hairstyle, and they ridiculed her for it, and the next day she came in with those bangs. They tried the same thing on me, but I had those bangs when I was 13, and trust me, they don't work on me. I will not succumb to that. So after you got your bangs, we move on to the rest of your head. A lot of the junior high school girls have very short hair, so it's this cute little bob and they don't have to do anything with it. The longer haired girls have about 2 hairstyles. The first one are these pigtails, but the pigtails are not like our usual pigtails like this. They're like kind of pushed forward like this. It's really strange. The next style is the ponytail. So when I do a ponytail, I usually do it pretty high like this. This is the usual ponytail that I go with. Wrong! Apparently you're supposed to have a low ponytail like that. Not only did I get yelled at for that, but in the lunchroom suddenly I had 5 girls on my head fixing it for me. Pretty much why I leave my hair down most of the time now. Also, it's still cold here, so the long hair keeps me warm. The next reason why it is hard to memorize our students is because of their names. I'm not saying it's hard to memorize Japanese names. I'm saying it's hard to memorize their names when you don't learn them. I got here in 2nd semester, so there was no real exchange of names. They just learned who I was and that was it. The rest of it, I had to learn their names by looking at their name tags, which are this big and difficult to read if you're not used to kanji. And I am used to kanji, but I don't know all the kanji yet. I'm still studying. But I never learned their first names, and even today, of all days, the day I am doing a video about why it's hard to memorize my students, they decided to quiz me on their names. And I was like, damn it, I don't know your first names, I know your last names! So instead I just made up English names for them. But with me giving them English names, they needed to give me a Japanese name. Usually I end up with Usagi. Today I was Kaneko. So hello everybody, I'm Kaneko. And you don't get a class list, and I have over 2,000 students, which is why it is really hard to memorize them. So I hope that clears it up. Other questions today included about the graduation ceremony and how often they practice and when it is and if they get gifts from their friends and family. They practice for about 2 weeks prior to it, I guess, but it's not like every day. And then graduation for us not us, like I'm graduating, but like my school, my base school, and actually all the Takefu schools have graduation on the 15th. But Sabai, where I'm going to tomorrow for my visiting school, has it tomorrow, Friday. I need to check on that. As for the gifts, I don't recall any gifts. I need to see how it rolls for junior high school because this is my first graduation ceremony. But I remember when I was in Akita that the parents, I think, gave their kids flowers. And then the swim team chased down their graduating member through the hallways dressed only in their Speedos and proceeded to throw him in the air. Not kidding, that happened. I'm leaving for Japan in May. Any packing tips? Where exactly are you going in Japan, and I can further help you with that question. Did they show the Nino and Show Pets, Dogs, and Cats? No, that commercial on the TV is constantly the same ones, just with different Arashi members. What they did was genius. Take a random Arashi member, put him in a room with a 3DS, have a strange voice suddenly scare the crap out of them, and then force them to explain what the product is. It's a great commercial. Before I go, tomorrow's video will be a little bit different than the usual style I am doing this in, because tomorrow I am participating in a project for one of my groups I was in college called JP Network, and the video is made for them, but everybody can watch it and use it for whatever knowledge you need. But I am posting it on this channel tomorrow instead of the usual Nippon Q thing that I do. So no questions will be answered tomorrow, however I will answer them on Friday. But look forward to tomorrow's video because it should be pretty awesome, not gonna lie. I worked really hard on it, okay? So everyone, I will sort of see you tomorrow, but in reality I'll be seeing you Friday. No, in reality? What? I don't see anybody. I just stand here in my house looking at a camera. What reality is that? Okay, I gotta go.
Oh man, I'm 3 floors up. Oh, legs are in pain.